Mara and Basil are still here. Congresswoman, you want to talk to Howard Lutnick, too?
Absolutely. Listen, I mean, he said, I don't know. But one thing is clear. He knew enough to know that he did not want to hang out with Jeffrey Epstein and that he was his neighbor. He talked about the fact that he was into some questionable things. So I'm sure he's seen people come and go, and he seems pretty confident that there were videos of this. So I would absolutely love to kind of dig in a little bit more and at least get a list of names to work from and start to kind of build backwards and do the work that Alex Acosta and that DOJ failed to do.
Well,
tonight, Texas Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett isn't holding back. She's demanding action, and she's calling out the system for protecting pedophiles instead of the victims. Crockett says the truth about Jeffrey Epstein's powerful friends has been buried for far too long. In a fiery interview, she exposed how billionaire Howard Lutnick, Epstein's neighbor, admitted he knew enough to stay away, but also knew there were videos, cameras, and people coming and going from Epstein's homes in both Florida and New York. Crockett didn't mince words. She said, if anyone still has footage, bring it to House Democrats on oversight. We will make sure the truth comes out. She slammed the Department of Justice and former U.S. Attorney Alex Acosta for what she called a sweetheart deal, a deal that gave Epstein a slap on the wrist while victims were silenced and the powerful were protected. According to Crockett, there were 53 pages of federal charges ready to go until prosecutors suddenly backed down. Instead of justice, Epstein got 18 months, with privileges, with access, and with protection. And now, even after Epstein's death, Crockett says the cover-up continues. Survivors are still being denied access to their own FBI files. Her message to Congress: it's time to stop hiding, stop excusing, and stop protecting predators. Crockett is pushing for a House vote to release the full Epstein files, to expose everyone who thought their power made them untouchable. Because, as she puts it, until those files are released, justice has never really begun. If you believe the truth should be public, hit like, drop your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more deep political breakdowns that others won't touch.
I do think that he has names. I mean, the fact that he felt like that there was video footage, and he obviously felt like it was video footage of people that were important enough that he would end up with a sweetheart deal. I mean, your everyday Joe walking in and being caught on video doing something nefarious doesn't necessarily equate to something that I've never seen as a practicing lawyer. I mean, the amount of allegations that they had against him at that time, and then for him to get that little amount of time, in addition to, as he already laid out, he had privileges that afforded him an opportunity to continue to commit crimes, and everyone looked the other way. I mean, this was like the nightmare that would not end, and even now that Epstein is gone, it's still a nightmare because you have people like the President of the United States saying, oh no, this is nothing more than a Democratic hoax, and consistently, really invalidating what these victims / survivors experienced.
Congresswoman, I wonder if it's enough to bring Acosta back, that Donald Trump's own Secretary of Commerce believes that I just want to get his quote right, that they traded those videos. How else could you get 18 months? He was a convicted sex offender.
Yeah, Alex Acosta, as far as I'm concerned, he probably walked as fine a line as he could, but I did not feel like he was completely truthful. Obviously, we did a transcribed interview. I would love to get him in a deposition setting instead, and I really want to dig in on a number of things that I was asking him about. He basically hid behind the fact that he was the U.S. attorney for that area. And so, as we know, anyone that sits that high is not necessarily into all of the specific details of any given case. But this was a high-profile case, so he was briefed on it. I want to talk to the other people that were on that team, the people that he said flew in from D.C., and sat down and had roundtable conversations about them. I want to see how many of his statements align with theirs. The only thing that we know is for sure there was a line prosecutor, someone who actually was looking at all the evidence and was doing everything that she could to make it clear that this is somebody that needed to be prosecuted. She had drafted a 53-page indictment, and they decided, nope, never mind, we're not going to go forward with that. Instead, we're going to kick this back down to the state, and we're just going to non-prosecute this case on the federal level. But we're not going to be open, honest, and transparent with the victims as the law requires, because what we're going to do is work around the law and say, well, you know what, he's not officially indicted, so do we really have to honor this? Maybe not. I mean, it was just too much shady things going on. And right now, so many of the survivors talk about the fact that the FBI refuses to give them access to their own statements and their own files about their own cases. So that is why it is so important that we get our newest member sworn in so she can be signature number 218 so that we can take a vote of the entire House and hopefully get the release of the Epstein files ordered. And if for some reason there's a problem, hopefully we will have a little bit more strength if it is a full vote of the House to then go to court.